Hey everybody. Hey everybody. I would say happy Thursday, but it's not up here where I am. We are in the middle of a bad storm up here, you guys. So you got to let me know if my stuff if I'm coming in like real choppy or anything like that, cuz my internet might act up because it's crazy out here. So but how are you guys doing? Let's see who is in the building. You got Rebecca. Hey, Miss D. What's going on, Queen? Hey, Jackie. Hey, Renee. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, baby girl. Hey, Raw Truth and Uncut. Hey, Shay Shay. Hey, Brittany. Hey, Tanisha. Hey, Miss E. Hey, Robin. Who else we got in here? Hey, you guys, everybody coming in. So listen, y'all, we're gonna cover we're not gonna cover a whole lot, but I am gonna say I did come from I did put my sink my head into Reddit's live, and I was South Georgia, yeah, Cheryl. I was very, very intrigued by that conversation. I mean, it really had my attention. Um and it was so, and at the same time, be honest with you guys, it was so refreshing. It was so refreshing. Hey, Joski, what's going on, King? It was so refreshing to hear them speak about something so different and something that really matters, that's really going on right now. You know what I'm saying? It might not affect us directly, but of course it allowed us to see what's going on around us. You know what I'm saying? So, hey Jay, say hey Miss Sean, be safe. The storm appears to be a monster. It is. I was praying it didn't come my way. We just had bad weather 2 weeks ago. Well, yeah, it is definitely over here. It's definitely over here. But y'all know so I love the rain. I don't like something that may cause damage, but I love like indoor weather. But I mean that's because I'm a bona fide introvert. So but anyway, it was just really refreshing to hear that conversation over there in her live, talking about things that really matter. So, and kind of getting away from the mess a little bit. So, and I'm not going to stay on the mess today. Y'all know I got a really good hearing for you guys today. It's not as long as it was the other one, but this is really, really interesting. But I do want to touch on the situation that happened with Kevin. And shout out to Kevin. Um, shot yeah, a big shout out to Kevin. Yeah, I know I'm not going to play the recording. Y'all have heard that recording a million times over. It's like I said, it's just like kind of regurgitating the same thing over and over. So I'm not going to regurgitate that, but I do want to give my thoughts on it really quick. And then, y'all, I'm really hoping once we, talk about this a little bit today, that we can kind of move on from this situation. Because at this point in time, just sitting back and truly being a supporter the last couple 3 days, that I've kind of just been inside. And just to kind of update you guys, I have been kind of down as far as being sick. So I've been trying to get better with that. I mean, it was real bad. Like when I get sick, it's crazy. I think Kevin was very unbiased and gave good advice. Yes, he did, Cheryl. It was absolutely. But I am going to speak about that just a little bit. But I'm just going to touch on the part, just what he said about his advice that he gave to his brother and his ex-wife. I think that as far as how me and Kevin think, I think that our goals are the same, but I think our direction is a little bit different. And what I mean by that is, I know that his advice, and I don't want to misquote him. His advice was that he thinks that he would advise that his brother just refrain from showing the little girl and, his significant other together on social media. Well, the only thing that I would say to that is I may have a disagreement with that, and this is why. But I know why he said it, you guys, and I can understand him saying it. The only reason I may disagree with that part, well, let me tell you why he said it. If it is being done, and I'm gonna say this with both parties, both Brianna and both Robert, if they are posting their significant others with the children with malice intent and with maliciousness to hurt the other partner, then I would definitely say don't do it. If you're doing it for that purpose alone. But if you're doing it because you have sincerely moved on and that you are sincerely happy and that you are truly showing your life as it is progressing forward on to new ventures and a new life, and your child is included, and you want to share that with the world, then I say go for it. I say go for it. I say, yeah, just go for it. Because I can tell you one thing that judges do look at is they do look at, if one partner happens to, be withholding a child or doing malicious things because of the other partner moving on. They don't like that. They don't even like, if they even think it, y'all seen it in the other video that I did Saturday. She kind of got on him about that, got on her about that. I think it was her she got on about, being, jealous. So I definitely, if it, like I said, if the reasoning is sincere and it's because you have truly moved on and you're truly wanting to share your life with the internet and putting the past behind you, and you're putting your child in there to show, as long as they are together, absolutely, I say go for it. And I encourage that on both parties. But as long as you're not doing it with malice intent and you're not doing it to intentionally and maliciously hurt the other party or antagonize the other party. If you are, then I would encourage you to not do that. That's where his advice would definitely be effective at. Because you're not going to be able to, you can't keep everybody happy. They ain't going to like how you move all the time. And when everybody knows, when you split up, when you're in a divorce, or relationship, and you split up and you start a new relationship, there's going to be some envy there. There's going to be some jealousy there. So, and you can't babysit somebody feeling like that, So I would say, as long as the reasoning was great, and post a girl, yeah, as long as he's being sincere, I say go for it. But this is the reason that I said, and I think a lot of people misinterpret, maybe not, people have their own personal feelings, and, people going to act on their own personal feelings. But, at the end of the day, if a content creator comes in on here and try to appease everybody's feelings, they're not going to be able to put out proper content. My position is always going to be, follow the court order. And my thing is, my advice is which is what I would give to both parties is, don't post anything in reference to the other party, period, at all, none. And I did make a reference to the last couple of videos that LaTruth did post in reference that had to do with Brianna and their situation. I said should not have been posted. They should not. Those are the type of videos that I'm saying should not be posted. I don't, things that have to do with him moving forward in his life, that's great content. You should do it. But things that have to do it in reference with antagonizing, or maybe has to do with a situation, I would encourage him not to post to social media. And that is not, that is mainly just for legal purposes. That's mainly just follow the court order. Just follow the court order until you can get in the courts and get a modification. Get some form of a modification that will allow you to speak on your story, that will allow you to talk and allow you to speak on your story without bashing the other party or inciting the other party or giving content to bloggers that would bring negative light to the other person. That goes for both people. Example, if Robert comes on here, that stuff that he did with the police and stuff, that to me, and this is me, to me, that's a negative, because it's only going to give to the bloggers, and they're going to go after her in a negative light. Same thing with her. If she posts something in derogatory, same as that night when she posted, when the police when he brought the police to her house and she went on the internet, her and Janelle, that brought a negative light to the truth. So it's like that type of stuff needs to stay off the internet until they can get inner court, and that they can get a judge to agree to allow them to tell their separate stories without bashing the other and without putting out content from their platform that would incite bloggers to speak negatively about the other partner, if that makes sense. Hey, Sassy. Hey, Treasure Life. Hey, Latte. Hey, Patricia. Hey, A. Stokes. Hey, Bridget. I hope that makes sense. It just would be fair. It would just be fair for all of them, both of them, to go forward like that. Just get it in a court order. Allow to ask the judge, and the judge may say no just because of the simple fact of all the problems they've been having on social media. I'm sure the judge will probably say no, but as long as you go in there and you make good faith effort to at least ask, hey, Loveless Tay, to at least ask the judge to change it, and say, hey, is it okay? I don't think I should be restricted from saying anything, but y'all do have to understand this. I will put this out as a disclaimer. The judge wasn't the one that came up with the idea of both of them restricting themselves to social media. It was Robert and Brianna. They both sat at that table and made that agreement together. So it wasn't something that somebody forced upon them. It was something that they came up with together. Hey, Miss Lasanda. So that's something that they did together. So it's something that they can probably go back and, say, hey, listen, we changed our mind. How about let's, allow us to speak without, saying anything derogatory. But, and yes, Lasanda, you are true. That is correct. This will be their first contempt. So I do not think that it will be that serious. And so that is my advice. That's the only thing. But I do agree with Kevin. His advice was very sincere, very respectable to them. And I hope they receive that in love, because I think he's just looking out for the betterment. And at the end of the day, you guys, it's best to do what's in the best interest of the child. And he said it best. Think for the child. Think for the child. Don't think about what's best for you. Don't think about what's best. Brianna can't think about what's best for her, and Latrice can't think about what's best for him. You got to think for the child. If y'all are fighting, then the child is right there in the middle, just looking up like, I don't know what parent to go with. I don't know. You're leaving your child in a confused state. So you got to take your personal wants, needs, and all of this out of it and think about what's best for the child. So Kevin said it best. So salute to Kevin. He said that best. Jay said, I would hate to see Arch get in trouble. I don't think he was supposed to be on live with Kevin. Jay, I would say to that, as long as I don't think he was speaking derogatory, you know what I'm saying? But you know what, Jay, I get what you're saying. Right now, it's so scarce. You don't know what's good and what's not good. So I really understand your position with that. But I think the only thing that would hurt is any type of derogatory content toward each other. That's what's going to hurt the most. So in conclusion to that, that part is what Val said, when it's his career, why would he agree to that? What was going on in his mind? I don't know, Bridget. I don't know. I really don't know. But again, that was something that was a situation that they made together. It wasn't forced. They made that agreement together. So, they have to abide by that until they're able to get it modified. They just need to move better. But what if they get married? What the hell you going to do then? Well, again, Mr. Sander, you can't appease everybody's feelings. You can't babysit. People move on, and that's just life. She's moved on. He's moved on, and they should just go their separate ways and just you know, it just, I mean, that's life. I mean, you know what baffles, I'm gonna say what baffles me is that this is act like this couple was like the only couple in the world that's ever got divorced and had kids, and I just think it's being made too much of a big deal. They're regular people who got divorced, but it is being amplified by social media. That's the problem. The social media is amplifying the situation and making it more than it is. So of course it's allowing them to make it more than it is. So it's just being amplified. They're just two regular people that, hey, the first time that they see their partner with somebody after they get a divorce, of course they're going to feel some type of way. Of course, I would be crazy if I would say, me and my ex we separated. And then the first time I see him with somebody, I didn't feel some type of way. I mean, I wouldn't be human. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it wasn't enough for me to want him back, that's for sure. But it's going to make me feel some type of way. That's without a doubt. Hey, Sharon. Hey, pretty green eyes. Did I miss somebody? But I mean, that's crazy not think. It's not how you feel, it's how you act on your feelings that makes the difference. You just can't act every single time you get mad. You can't act every single time, that happens. Y'all, yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, we're all human. When we move on and we separate from our partner and we see them with somebody else, yeah. Especially if we've been with them from a long period of time, we're gonna feel some type of way. So, but we still, if we have children together, that's who we must put first. We've made a decision to no longer continue the relationship. So we made a decision to continue to discontinue the relationship, and now, but we're making a decision to continue on our relationship and raise our children together, child or children or whatever. We're going to make a decision to raise them together in the best way. And that's my take on that, and that's where I think the focus should be. And I don't know who said it. Was it Kevin that said this? Everybody, I have to agree with this, and I never heard it put like this. He said everybody wants to be Team Brianna, everybody wants to be Team Robert, but who's Team the child? You know what I'm saying? And when I first came on here, I said I was, mainly for the child and what was best for the child. And I veered off into domestic violence situation. But he's absolutely right. Who is Team the child? Everybody wants to be Team adult. When you got two adults who know what they're doing, but you got one child that's being, a tug of war. So it's you who's looking out for the baby? Robert gone, but she didn't feel like that when she was doing the most. Now Robert gone and Jaw looking like he's moving on as well. That could be very true. It's the plotting tactics I see from her, like she trying to send him over stupid stuff. And you know what, Bridget, again, no matter what they ask for, that doesn't mean they're going to get it. You know what I'm saying? They can say what they want all day. I can say, hey, put somebody in jail for 20 years because I don't like them. That definitely don't mean it happens. So she can ask for anything. That definitely doesn't mean it's going to happen. But I do believe the judge is going to put more stricter stipulations. I do believe the judge is going to chastise them. I think that for sure. Both of them, not one. I think the judge is definitely going to chastise both of them for the situation, this whole social media situation. And I do think that social media may be put on risk if it keeps going in a way that they can't find a way to find a way to coexist on social media without the problems. If that continues to be a problem, that will be taken away from them. I can see that being taken away from them. So my advice, what I suggest, they would find a way to coexist on social media to where they're not hurting the other partner, because the very thing that they have as income, they're weaponizing it. And when you weaponize something, you give the judge the opportunity to take that away from you. It's just like you having a some form of a weapon in the house. You're using it for protection. Okay, that's your protection. But when you get ready to use that to harm somebody maliciously and not for protection, then you give the judge a right to punish you for that. You see what I'm saying? So you can't, you gotta look at it that way. Hey, Angie, haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Beverly, my thing is Rob was quiet for a long time. Now he's come out swinging. He needs to be quiet. It's all confusing me. Hold on, Beverly. Was posting their daughter brought up in court, Miss Shawn? If so, I know homegirl ain't trying to trip. Yes, it was, Renee. It was brought up. And from my understanding, it was actually brought up by Robert. Robert did not want the child being of course, y'all know the situation where with Janelle posting the child. Okay, everybody was on him about that, how Janelle was antagonizing him with the child. You know, he didn't act on it on social media, but he did act on it in court. He asked that the child not be posted with Janelle, and in return, she said, okay, if that's the case, then you can't post the baby with season. So you can't, when you give, you got to take. It's a give and take situation. So that was the trade-off. You don't post with your significant other. I don't post with my significant other. That was the trade-off. So that was him that brought it up in court. So Beverly, the thing about it is, I see a lot of people consistently saying that over and over. Here's the thing. It was good. It was the time that I think it was good for him to have spoken out. It would have been great because they weren't under a court order at that time. So they weren't restricted as to what they could talk about, how they could talk about it, how they could express themselves, how they weren't restricted then. They weren't under a court order. Now they are under a court order. So now it is a little bit, a little bit late to do that. To come now, you can't wait until a judge orders you to be quiet and then you want to talk. So you, like I said, it just kind of flipped the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? It would have been good. He has every right to come out and vent, to talk about, get it off his chest. But unfortunately, a judge has silenced them, not social media, not us, not content creators, not nothing. A judge has silenced him. So that would be a question. These questions that people ask, well, why can't he talk? Ask the judge that, because she or he was the one that silenced them. Why is Beverly so always getting a pass? Like his people have to tap dance around her and can't share his child with his women. This is insane. Well, I say it's just like what I said. I feel that both of them should be entitled to be on the internet as long as they are sharing or posting the child in a positive light with their significant others and showing that they moved on. I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with them being able to post their life moving on with their child in it, with their significant other, if it's sincere. I don't see anything wrong with it. Ever since the little girl called her a liar, she irritated with her now. Who called her a liar, Renee? What you talking about? Brittany says, yes, exactly. She needs to take it out on Janelle, not King, aka Truth. He takes care of his kids. He's about real father game. Joski said, I've never seen a judge that's okay with you going against their ruling. He's going to get both of them together. Exactly, Joski. I'm telling you. And see, that's why I can't express this enough. So if you've never been in a courtroom, if you guys have been divorced or you guys have been in a hearing of some sort, and there is a judge that gives an order and you break it, do y'all see how I'm about to show y'all a clip in just a few minutes of how angry judges get when you deliberately, intentionally defy their order. It doesn't matter. They will get upset. They will get mad. So for us to say, well, why he can't listen, when you get in that court, would you rather for the judge to get mad with him? And you know what I'm saying? Or mad with her, or anyway, everybody have their own feelings. I'm not even going to get into that. The thing is, just follow the court order until you're able to get it modified. Talk to the judge. Ask the judge, can you get it modified? That's the best thing to do. Bridget, I believe she uses the child for weaponization as well. It is a repetitive cycle, and she will do the same with this new baby daddy. Perhaps she will. Hissa said, Ms. Shawn, so the family judge have jurisdiction over a case and can order that they basically quit their job. The internet is their livelihood, so I've never seen a family judge have jurisdiction. Okay, so Tissa, the internet, you got to understand the internet is, you could call it a job, But is the internet really a job? Think about it. Did they have to fill out an application? You know what I'm saying? Like, the internet is a place, is more like, what do you call it? A place that you can go on and make money off of. They have allowed you to go on and post stuff to make money. They're not saying quit your job or whatever, but you have to understand it's the same thing. If I go on my job, my regular job, and I'm working a 9 to 5 and I'm an employee and I'm making, and it's a problem for me, it becomes a problem where my spouse is coming to my job all the time and we're arguing. Do you think that employee is going to keep me on the job? They're not going to keep me on the job because my job becomes a problem. It interferes with my ability to work. It interferes with anything. So another thing is, I don't know how a judge sees the internet, or if they classify that as a job or just a means to make money. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing as what is it? DoorDash. Same thing as like DoorDash. You know what I'm saying? They can prohibit you from doing DoorDash, and DoorDash is just something same as the internet. It's just another means of making money. But if you're doing something wrong on it, they can prohibit you from DoorDashing. So yes, you can't be Team Child when you got to tap dance around her feelings. The child is about Bree calling shots and the sticks and stands. Okay. RH has been so passive towards her in the beginning, and now he's trying to be firm, and the timing seems to be off. Right, Bridget. It's so unfortunate because she has a father that loves his child. Some women pray for an active father. How she have to take her children to baby dad number one for him to get them. Brittany says, yes, exactly, Bridget. Sad to use your own child in that manner. But yeah. So again, you guys, you may not agree with the system. And I never said the system is here to agree with us, but that's just what it is. You know, that's just how the legal system works. But again, after today, this is the last time I'm speaking about it. Until they actually have the court date, that's when I'm going to speak about it again, because then you guys will be able to see exactly how it plays out. Because no matter how many times anybody comes on here and gives you guys a bit of insight on how it works, you know, because you feel so strongly about the person that you support, then you're never going to see it from a legal manner. You're just going to see it from, you know, that type of manner. So it's not about each person's character on trial. It's about, are they breaking the court order or are they not? That's what all the judges looking at. Are you breaking the court order or are you not breaking the court order? That's what it's about when they step into that court. Those are only two questions that the judge is going to want to discuss. And I'm going to show y'all in a minute. Hey, Jessica. Well, you know, Tissa, if that's their only source of income, the thing about it is, y'all, I don't know if that's their only source of income. We don't know if that's their only source of income. We don't know if that is their only source of income. And now I could go into court documents and look. I probably could look and see if that's their only source but I don't know if that's the only source of income, because allegedly she has a whole boutique. She has other things going on, and he has beer oil. He has other things going on, I do believe. But again, this is just speculation, you guys. It's speculation. It's theories. It's possibilities. It's possibilities of these things happening. We're not saying they are going to happen, but these are possibilities of these things happening if it keeps going. It'll keep going. So I'm going to actually I'm getting ready to show you guys. I'm getting ready to show you guys an example of somebody asking for a modification of their court order. Now, and you're going to see just how when you get jazzy with a judge, where your jazziness is going to end up at, and when you disobey a court order, and when you disobey a GAL. You're going to see where that ends up. So we can be jazzy on social media, but in court, that jazziness is not tolerated. Interesting, because she's going to train them to do it. So let me go to this. Hold on. Uh-oh.
You're not allowing me to say
Ms.
what
Rodriguez, this court is ordering that you appear with the children at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Ms. Rodriguez, you be here too to pick up the children.
I'm not.
Be down here.
Okay, so the beginning of this is just giving you a preview of what's going to happen in the middle of this. Now, this is a father and a mother, and they have already been seen by the GAL. The GAL has put in her report to the judge. Okay, and if you listen closely, the judge will tell you exactly what was said. Now, the mother is represented by an attorney. Okay, the father is not represented by an attorney. The other lady down there, she is actually an attorney general, which means that she just represents the state. And where they're at, usually the state usually is in these type of court hearings. So you're going to hear the judge. Now, this judge, he is once again, he's one of those no nonsense type of judges. And this is, I believe that they put in a modification to change the schools. Well, no, she didn't. She didn't put it in time. It's about the parenting time pickup. It's about the girlfriend from the father. So you're going to see a lot of conflicting stuff in here that these two are dealing with that is really going to piss the judge off. So this kind of give you another idea of what happens in these hearings.
Doing that. They're not.
Mr. Roldberg, it should not appear at 3 o'clock this afternoon in this court. The presidential bench warrant for Mr. Roldberg. It should appear at 3 o'clock. The children to appear at 3 o'clock this afternoon with the children.
Like, what?
The record, this matter is before the court on the plaintiff's motion to modify custody and or parenting time, as well as a motion for order to show cause. This hearing is being conducted via Zoom. The present is the plaintiff father, Michael Rodriguez. In addition, attorney Stephen Rotenberg is present representing.
Can you, before I carry, can you guys hear this? Just let me know if you can hear this. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear it. Put a 2 if you can't hear it. Let's see if I can't turn it up. Okay, Brittany. Okay, you can hear it? Okay.
Defendant mother, Chelsea Rodriguez. Ms. Rodriguez is present. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Judge.
The parties have conferred at length with Ms. Brower from the front of the court this morning, who has provided the court with the following recommendation that both parties must submit proof to the front of the court and the court that the SMAW program and the High Conflict Solutions Workshop have been completed within 7 days. Children shall attend Monroe Public Schools as previously ordered. Mother shall ensure the children attend Monroe Public Schools no later than tomorrow, September 5, 2024. Mother shall not leave the children unattended for any period of time during her parenting time. And finally, the show cause be dismissed. That is the recommendation. Mr. Rodriguez, do you understand the recommendation this morning?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any objection to the court adopting the recommendation?
No, the only thing I ask is for like the drop-off time is if she can come pick up her children when it's her time, because I've had my girlfriend go out there and she's failed to even show up to where it was for over an hour and then doesn't answer anyone's calls when it's time to pick up my children. And this is the main reason why, because she keeps keeping them against me or just leaving them alone.
None of this was brought up. None of this was brought up.
I just filed a complaint, Stephen. Yes, it was brought up.
It was not brought up. Not in this motion.
Well, it's in the courts. So the complaint I just filed shows all that.
That's not up for today. That's not relevant for today.
I had the police number and everything if you guys need it.
If there's an
motion is
issue
not
with
in play today.
exchanges, we'll address that this morning. I
That's
want
fine. Yeah,
Wesley
that's what I'm
back
trying
at the
to
court
address.
every
Okay.
week. So if there's an
Judge-
issue regarding exchanges and the time exchanges, we'll address that this morning.
Okay,
Hold on, Mr. Rosenberg, hold on. Ms. Brower, trying to go through this thick file here. Is there any time where the parties meet right now for exchanges or where they meet? Perhaps they should meet at the law enforcement agency at a certain time?
Your Honor, I believe that they meet, it's in a recent order. In just a moment.
It's at the Canton police station at like
Okay,
6 o'clock.
Mr. Rodriguez, where do you propose that you meet for the exchanges? And I'll ask Mr. Rosenberg, what he proposes.
Well, I'm just asking. She says she has off like an hour throughout the day here and there. So within her hour on my time, if it's possible, she could bring them to me during the day. And then my girlfriend watches them like it's been previously stated throughout the day until I get off of work. But
Judge
she
Canton,
just fails.
Please, I'm not going to interrupt you. Please do not interrupt.
Okay, Robin, I seen your question. No, that's actually her lawyer. That's why she's not speaking. She's down in left in the corner down there. That's actually his lawyer, and I'm gonna her lawyer, and I'm gonna tell you right now, he's not a very good lawyer. Not to me. He's not a very good lawyer. And that's just my opinion. And as y'all can see, the one thing I am going to say about the young man, he does interrupt quite a lot. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that's no nonsense with judge. They don't even like to be interrupted like that. So, okay. So you're going to see him chastising him.
Yeah, otherwise, going to mute you. Please.
But yeah, so the last time I was supposed to pick up my children, it was probably about 2 weeks ago. My girlfriend went to pick them up at the Canton police station at around 6 o'clock, like we're supposed to. Chelsea was just nowhere to be found. I texted, called, no answer. And probably till couple of days ago, she finally answered me. I just haven't got a chance to even get a hold of my daughter. I don't know how my kids are doing. Yeah, I'm just confused on what's going on right now. But if she can meet me, if she can come this way for her children when it's time to pick up, I'll drop them off to her. That's fine when it's her time. But she can pick them up when it's her time. But I'm not. I feel like it's just.
You can't communicate with Ms. Rodriguez about these simple things.
No, I can't. Unfortunately,
all right.
He won't answer me.
Your Honor, if I may.
Chelsea, sorry. I thought it was Chelsea.
Ms. Brower.
Referee Hamrich on August 14th recommended that the parties exercise all parenting time exchanges at the Flat Rock Police Department. That 21-day objection period ends this Friday. Neither party has filed an objection to that as of today.
All right, so I got to file an objection.
I'm sure that was in August.
August 12th.
Recommended order.
August 14th. It's
Okay, so the problem is she has changed their schools without telling him that you can't do that. So she done changed their schools and she done started their schools without notifying him. And he done put in a motion. I think he put in I'm not sure what he put a motion in for. But that's what that lawyer is carrying on about. That lawyer act like he got ADHD or something. I don't know what's wrong with him. He's just too fidgety for me.
a recommendation at this point. I don't believe the court has it in its file.
Yes, not in the court's file. And that provided the parties meet at where the Flat Rock Police Department?
The Flat Rock, yes.
At what time? Does it have specific times?
It does not.
Okay.
The parties would follow the previous court order for parenting time. I believe that gives father alternating weekends, Thursday at 6 to Monday to school or 9 a.m.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may, the friend of the court also did an investigation and recommendation as far as parenting time. Neither party has motioned the court to adopt it, but the friend of the court's recommendation is to give mother alternating weekends, Friday at 6 to Sunday at 6, and that the children remain in Mineral Public Schools.
And Judge, we would object to part of that recommendation, and I'll explain why.
Well, if you got to file an objection, Mr. Rosenberg. I mean, in front of the court, the referee recommended order, that will take effect if there's not a written objection filed within 21 days.
Right. We're mixing. Okay. I think what we're doing is we're mixing recommendations and orders a little bit, that there's multiple ones out here. This morning, Ms. Brower recommended, or is about to recommend, that the children remain in the Monroe Public Schools and the parenting time remain as follows. MCL 722.31 is the 100-mile rule. And that allows a parent to move within 100 miles without the court's permission. Ms. Rodriguez moved to Canton, which is about 40 minutes away by car from city center to city center from Monroe, to get a better job, which is in the best interest of the children. If she was to keep the children in Monroe Public Schools, that would force her to drive back and forth to Monroe 4 times or do 2 round trips a day during the school year. The kids would be in the car for at least an hour and a half a day more than they otherwise would be. They would not be able to participate in extracurriculars near where they live during the school week, and it would interfere with their ability to make friends with their new schoolmates in their new neighborhood. Now, Ms. Rodriguez probably should have asked for the court's permission to change that order to change where the children are enrolled. But there's no real difference that I know of between Canton Public Schools and Monroe Public Schools. And I think it would be in the best interest of everyone.
See, the one thing the this lawyer does wrong is that he knows that anytime you change something in a court order that you have to file a motion. He knows this better than anybody. He's an attorney. But of course, watch he get chastised. It does not matter what your position is. If you do something wrong, you're going to get chastised for that. So for him to try to file a motion, this girl's already changed these kids' school without even filing a motion and without even notifying the father. That she wasn't supposed to do that. But y'all going to see her get real jazzy in a few minutes. So just hang on. But I'm just going to tell you right now, the lawyer, he's just really annoying. He's just really annoying to me, but you're right, Miss Sands. You're exactly right.
Everybody, wear and tear on the car, reducing the amount of travel time, reducing the amount of driving, because these children, I think, might go to different schools. I'm not sure if they all go to the same one or not. But as a practical matter, it puts a huge burden on them to drive in this car going back and forth. Okay. She could move up there without the court's permission. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing all that different that I'm aware of, as I said, between Canton Public Schools and Monroe Public Schools. So I'd say that we adopt the order, except that she can enroll them in the Canton Public Schools, because Mr. Rodriguez doesn't have them during the school week. It's on information and belief he doesn't drive. Okay, well, maybe you do. Then I stand corrected. But as a practical Ms. Rodriguez has a better paying job than she had before, earns more than she ever did, has benefits for the kids that she never had. And all this would do is basically force her to have to ask the court's permission to do what she's allowed to do by right, because that previous order might have been a little bit more restrictive than it otherwise should have been. It possibly should have said something along the lines, the public schools where the parties live, or something like that. Because I'm unaware of any inherent property other than geography that would differentiate Monroe Public Schools from the that would be the extent of my objection to the recommendation. For all the other, now, as Mr. Rodriguez, let me finish. Now, as for the other thing, we have a bit of chaos here, and I filed an appearance, and I did send it to Mr. Rodriguez, I believe, on the 12th. The appearance itself says that I request copies of everything filed in this case. I haven't received anything from Mr. Rodriguez. I haven't received his most recent objections. I got that from the friend of the court. I have not received anything, and I requested them, and he's playing.
Now, see, he's not supposed to be interrupting. He knows that. But you want to see, funny how Laura made that court date around her daughter's birthday to show her she could miss it due to bad behavior, and still got people disrespecting the court. Renee, what you talking about? Hold on.
Payton wants to be his own attorney. I would like copies of those files. I haven't received them. The other thing too is it doesn't matter.
You could easily get that.
Mr. Rodriguez, do not interrupt, please.
The other thing too that we have with this is he likes to file objection after objection after objection after objection, zillions of them, and then he mixes them all up and tries to fight them all at once. And it adds to the confusion of the case. So I don't really see anything other than a power play issue here favoring Mr. Rodriguez having the children in the Monroe Public Schools if they're near if they're near Ms. Rodriguez. The other thing too with this is there's allegation that it's obviously these parties don't get along, but also Mr. Rodriguez has unclean hands. Both parties were ordered to participate in certain programs. I don't know if my client has or hasn't, but we sure as heck don't know if Mr. Rodriguez has or hasn't either, because again, there's been no proof.
I
He
filed
hasn't
them.
given. Again, as the attorney of record, and I am entitled to all filings. And if you want to play lawyer, we're all supposed to play by the court rules. Those are the rules of the road, so we don't have chaos. And this has become one hand clapping. So if Mr. Rodriguez, I would ask that Mr. Rodriguez give me copies of everything that's been filed in this case. Number one. Number two, we would ask that the court entertain allowing Ms. Rodriguez to have the children in Canton Public Schools, because there's no good reason to have them driving back and forth an hour and a half every day. Plus I don't quite know what time her shift starts or how this interplays with any latchkey programs or anything like that. I believe Ford starts pretty early in the morning, and I don't know, if memory serves me right, I think it might be a 7 o'clock shift.
This judge is the most annoying. I mean, this lawyer is the most annoying lawyer. He's just one of the lawyers that I do not like him. I don't.
I don't know how the heck that this would even be feasible. We don't want to endanger her job.
So who's watching the kids?
Right? The kids.
Mr. Rodriguez, can you mute? We're going to mute you, Mr. Rodriguez. You keep interrupting.
And as for who's watching the kids, Mr. Rodriguez, during the school year, if they're in school, it doesn't really matter. They're being watched by school staff. That's what we're talking about right now. If we have other issues with latchkey or daycare or other things like that, we can deal with that at another time. But right now we have a serious issue here as to adding hundreds of miles of road travel to these children's lives every week. And that's not in their best interest.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenberg.
Thank you.
Mr. Rosenberg, without question, Ms. Rodriguez, she can move to Canton. She can. But changing the schools on her own, that is not permissible without this court allowing that. She can't just unilaterally change the school district for the children. Mr. Rosenberg, have you received a copy of the recommendation of Catherine Scott dated August 26, 2024?
Okay, so did you hear him say that? He said that, yeah, Angie. So did you hear what he just said? Hold on. Did you hear what he just said? He says that changing of the schools, she can go where she wants to, but she can't change their schools because it's not in the order. She can't do it. So all that, what he did, all that justification he did, that didn't change the judge's mind. The judge says you got to keep them in the school, period. And also because he didn't file the motion in time. And then secondly, what he's getting ready to, I don't know if you just heard him. He said, did you get the recommendation of Catherine somebody? That's the GAL. So I want you to listen to what he says about the GAL's recommendation. Because it's as far as like the custody. Listen to what he says. The judge says, if you can hear him clearly.
I'm unsure, Judge. I do not know. I don't have it in the file in front of me, but that does not necessarily mean I don't have it.
Referee Homrich on June 25th.
Yes, I have that. Yes.
Her recommendation is at the issue of school district, and she denied the request to modify parenting time. She recommended that mother should have parenting time week on, week off during the summers, that they both complete the high conflict solutions parenting workshop, and that the issue of parenting time and choice of school district for 2024-25 school year be referred to the court for investigation recommendation. Catherine Scott completed a investigation. She issued a report dated August 26, 2024. She indicates that also she interviewed both the children, the 10 and 7-year-olds were old enough to be interviewed. That defendant mother failed to cooperate in any way with the front of the court during this first parent time investigation. She did not respond. She was mailed a questionnaire. She was asked to make a phone interview. She did not respond at all or cooperate with the front of the court regarding this investigation.
So did y'all hear that? Yeah, Robin, she does. So did y'all hear that? In case you didn't hear it. So what had happened was the GAL interviewed the kids. She interviewed everybody. She interviewed the kids. She interviewed the mother. She interviewed the father. No, I'm sorry. She tried to interview the mother. The mother was not cooperative. The mother would not cooperate with her at all. No shape, size, or form. Would not talk to her. Would not cooperate with her at all. So with him already reading that report before he even walks in there, no matter what that lawyer says, you got to understand his mind is already made up. So you see, and the attorney talking about he don't have the copy of the recommendation. I bet you don't have the copy of the recommendation because the recommendation goes against her. So he says he doesn't have it. How, convenient. Yes, Jay, they don't.
So the recommendation of Catherine Scott is that children attend Monroe Public Schools to provide continuity, consistency for the children. That's where the children have been. Not unilaterally change them to Canton schools where they're not familiar with. And further, that mom's parenting time during the school year be alternating weekends, Friday at 6 until Sunday at 6.
Again, but Judge, if she's got them Friday at 6 till Sunday at 6, it makes no sense. Shush. It makes no sense to force her to drive back and forth. And there is no, and as for consistency with schools, Judge, as you know, every few years you wind up in a new school. School friends and school things are inconsistent. You're in with a new class or whatever. My kids complain, oh, I'm in with my friends, I'm not in with my friends, etc. The fact is they'll make new friends. And as for the consistency from one year to the next, there's no, it really doesn't make a difference. The issue really is just during the school year, because parents pick up and move all the time. So I'm not entirely sure that extra verbiage about consistency, other than amplification, is really justified because they are enrolled in school.
Right. Mr. Rodenberg, there's been no petition filed with this court to change school districts. Mother has just unilaterally decided she's going to do this on her own. There's been no petition filed with the court to change the school district of the child, make that an issue, and school has begun this week. So the court at this time is of the opinion that children need consistency, continuity, and that they will continue in their current schools, Monroe Public Schools. And Ms. Rodriguez shall return the children to school tomorrow morning, unless you want to bring them back to dad this evening. The court will adopt Ms. Brower's recommendation. And in addition, the court's going to adopt the recommendation of Catherine Scott. Obviously, Ms. Rodriguez did not cooperate in any form or fashion to respond and to provide input from the court. So parenting time for the mom will be week on, week off during the summers. During the school year, beginning this weekend, mom will have alternating weekends, Fridays at 6 till Sunday at 6. The exchange will occur at the Flat Rock Police Department.
Judge, we would ask that Mr. Rodriguez's girlfriend not be allowed to pick up the children, that Mr. Rodriguez himself have to pick up the children.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, do you have someone else? Obviously, if there's
no, Mr. Rodriguez himself. Only.
All good. Don't even worry about it. I'll take care.
Mr. Rodriguez, do you have a driver's license?
Of course I have a driver's license, yes. Yeah, okay. I can meet there. That's fine. No big deal.
So you'll pick up and drop off the children then on drop them off at 6 o'clock on Friday, and you pick them up on the Sunday at 6 o'clock?
Yep.
All right, so we'll put that in the
Friday, if we could do earlier,
do all the transportation.
If we could do earlier on Friday, Your Honor, because if I can't have my girlfriend meet, it's gonna have to be earlier on my time then.
Well, we're not concerned about your girlfriend.
On Friday, I could do Sunday all day.
Yes.
No big.
6 o'clock.
No, that's
Friday,
fine. But she doesn't want to meet my girlfriend, so I'm saying I can't do Friday at 6 o'clock. It has to be earlier. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
If that's what she wants, unless she wants to meet my girlfriend.
Okay.
I go into work at 3.
You can't do it, Mr. Rodriguez. Perhaps.
Okay, who really thinks that the guy was being a little bit of an asshole a little bit, because he kept interrupting? That's the only thing that I didn't like about the father. He was being a little bit of an ass because he kept interrupting. And he's not being still. He usually, when they have Zoom, they have to be steady in one place, but I guess the judge really didn't pay that any attention. But it just seems like he just you know what? I don't know. Does anybody get, or seeing what I'm saying? He was just not. I just think he was being a butthole the whole time. But the lawyer is being a butthole as well, right, Robin? Blah blah blah. Exactly.
So you can
Hold
do it
on,
Saturday
stop.
morning.
Okay, so
No
make
one-
it 5. Can you do it 5 o'clock, Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, sir.
All right, so the parenting time exchange will be at 5 o'clock on Friday and 5 o'clock on Sunday.
Perfect.
So, shall
You can bring the
transport
kids
the
whenever.
children to that Flat Rock Police
Too.
Department. So, Ms. Rodriguez, you wanted to take the children to school in the morning? You're going to take them back to, you take them to school in the morning, you take them back to Mr. Rodriguez this evening. What makes the most sense?
Well, I work. She doesn't want to
Ms.
meet my girlfriend.
Rodriguez, Chelsea Rodriguez. You're going to take the
sorry, I
children
think I
back to
missed
Mr.
it.
Rodriguez. There are children in your possession this morning. Is that correct?
Are they in mine? I'm sorry.
Yes. Where are the children
Yes.
this morning?
They're at school out here.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
school
The
started.
court has ordered they be returned to Monroe Public Schools. You want to take them to school in the morning? Or do you want to take them back to Rodriguez this evening?
Okay, Your Honor, okay. Respectfully, I need to speak about this because you're putting them in a school district. You think this is
Okay.
consistency?
The court will order Ms. Rodriguez that you meet the Flat Rock Police Department at 6 o'clock tonight.
Judge,
Or 5
we just
o'clock
froze.
tonight.
I have
So
no
that's
I
not
didn't
good for Mr. Rodriguez. Exchange children at 5 o'clock tonight. And so that Mr. Rodriguez can give them to Monroe Public Schools in the morning.
No.
Now
You're
we
not letting me speak.
Judge,
The kids have been
Ms. Rodriguez,
school district
Ms.
for
Rodriguez, hold on.
years.
Ms. Rodriguez, we're going to mute Ms. Rodriguez for a minute. Ms. Rodriguez, if you're saying no to this court, you're not complying with this court order, I'm going to order you to appear this afternoon in this court with the children. You come down here this afternoon and we'll start contempt proceedings.
Okay, so you heard what she said no, she was not taking the kids out. She just told a judge no. She's not doing, so she's not complying. So he says, okay, if you don't want to comply, then you bring the kids down here to the court here at 6 o'clock and we will start a contempt hearing, which means that he's going to find her in contempt. So she's flat out said no. And he said no. Then if you're going to disobey a court order, then you need to bring the kids down here to my courtroom at 6 o'clock. So that's crazy. I mean, she just, hey, Blueberry Boots. Hold on. Sorry, y'all.
If you're telling this court you're going to ignore this court's order, then you appear personally in this court this afternoon at 3 o'clock with the children.
I'm sorry, 3
You
o'clock.
understand that? Is that what you want to do?
Sorry, I said
Mute her.
6.
We're going to mute her. Your response. Okay, your response, Ms. Rodriguez?
Respectfully, you're not allowing me to say
Ms.
what
Rodriguez, this court is ordering that you appear with the children at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Ms. Rodriguez, you be here too, so pick up the children.
I'm not,
Be down here.
I'm not doing that. They're not.
Mr.
Judge,
Rohlberg, if
my-
she not appear at 3 o'clock this afternoon in this court, the court's going to issue a bench warrant for Mr. Rohlberg. If she doesn't appear at 3 o'clock, the children to appear at 3 o'clock this afternoon with the children.
No.
We're done. Zoom out.
Chelsea, you're showing up with the kids.
Like, what?
Mr. Rodriguez, appear at 3 o'clock to pick up the children. I'm sorry, Miss Brower.
Okay, so it's a part 2 to that, y'all. So, but I'm going to tell you this. So, what he ordered her to do, because she was mouthy, and her attorney wasn't any better. Her attorney was just very lengthy, long-winded, and really wasn't giving any justifications to why he didn't file a motion to change the school, that he allowed her, and he's trying to justify her changing schools. You can't do that. Just like I said, just like I told y'all, just because you feel like something is the right thing to do and you do it anyway, and it goes against a court order, a judge is not going to see it that way. A judge is going to say, listen, no matter what you think, you disobeyed this court order. So I have to punish you for disobeying the court order, even though you think what you did was right. You see what I'm saying? Even though you think what you did was act in good faith and you think is best for what's best for the kids, or what you think, which is not best for the kids, it was best for her and her job. It was not best for the kids. But she thought that, hey, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go against the court order. And as you can see, the GAL told her to keep the kids in that school. She said, bump it. She took the kids out. She did what she wanted. She did exactly what she wanted to do. And so right now they're in the middle of a custody battle. So neither one of them really have, I think the father may have primary custody. I believe so. So right now she gets visitation. So, and this whole thing about his girlfriend, that irked me. That just really irked me. He just kept saying girlfriend, girl. I was like, oh my God. But of course, with you being at, so that you can see the judge was already irritated from reading the GAL's report about her being non-cooperative and doing all of that. So that's why that attorney was telling her, be quiet. But of course, y'all see that didn't work out. So when you disobey, and I guess my whole point in this one is, when you disobey a court order, you guys, it does not matter how you feel it should be justified. It doesn't matter how you feel something should go. If you disobey that, it's going to piss a judge off. And it could be the littlest thing. Now, I'm going to tell you, hey, virtuous woman. Hey, dreamy girl. I don't know if I spoke to you. Hey, Miss Judy. Hey, Adria. We'll get you in trouble. It'll get you in trouble every time. Question: how would that work in counties where there are school zones based off where you live? Because in my city, you can't transfer a child to a school that isn't in your zone. You know what? I think she was moving. That's why she did that. She was moving. And she was moving the kids to a school that she was going to be moving to. But she can move all she wants to, but she can't take the kids because she didn't file a motion. She didn't notify the court. She didn't tell the court anything. So that's against. And then the GAL went against it. The GAL said no. So you got to do what they say, or you risk losing custody. You risk losing custody when you do things that you feel is in your best interest. You end up losing the part that you even have. That's the same question I have. Oh, yeah. So that's how that works. Hey, Kevin, this is what happens when we as adults can't agree, instead submit to the government's authority. Exactly, Kevin. That's what I'm saying. If we can't agree, or two people can't come together and agree on what's in the best interest of the child, and you allow the government to take over, then you can't go back and say, well, you know what? I want to do it this way. No, because you have allowed them, a whole court order has been issued. So now it's under the court's authority. So now you have to move how they want you to move. And if you don't do that, then guess what? You lose privileges like visitation. You lose things like, being able to handle the child the way you want to handle them. You know what I'm saying? So that's the stuff that I think that is enforced when we say, things should be done in a certain manner so that things are not jeopardized. You don't want to jeopardize custody or privileges with your child because you want to do something your way. That's a quick form to lose it, a very quick way to lose it. And so right now they had to get a GAL, and in the middle of that, oh, absolutely, Kevin. Did you want to come up or did you want to stay in the audience? Because you're welcome to come up if you would like. Just let me know. But that is a surefire way of losing all privileges to what you feel you should be doing with your child. And then guess what? You're going to be fighting with a judge, and you're going to be fighting with contempt. Now, I will tell you this. Hold on, let me stop this, and I'm going to drop the link for Kevin. Hey, Talisa. So y'all, this is just for Kevin, because y'all know I don't drop my link like that. But that's a surefire way. That's when you start going into contempt. And what's the first thing he said? He said, you can come back in here for contempt. He got so mad with her that he is making her come back in the court. He is making her, hey, Ariane. He is making her bring the children to court at 3 o'clock. He is making her do that. There is a part 2 to that, you guys, and I will give you a little heads up. Oh, absolutely no problem. I will give you heads up. She was found in contempt, and I will tell you this. He gave her 45 days. I will tell you this. But he had a little sympathy for her. So I'm not going to tell all of it. He did have a little sympathy for her. So, because when she got to the court, she did pipe down. She did pipe down a little bit because he wasn't playing with her. He said, if you, in fact, want to break a court order, then this is your consequences. I ain't telling you, Trinity. I ain't telling you because you probably go, I ain't telling you. I ain't even telling you, girl. No, Robin, I didn't spoil it. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to spoil it. But I told you I'm not going to say everything. But right. Hey, Kevin.
Peace, Michelle. How you doing?
I am wonderful. I am wonderful. How are you?
Doing amazing. Glad to hear you well.
Thank you. Thank you. I would love to just hear your take on this piece.
Absolutely. Peace, everyone in the chat. Hope everybody's doing well. What I get from this overall is a woman who feels that she, should have a right to have her child go to whatever school she wants them to go to, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she did it outside of, the steps that she should have taken, right? She should have, put in that other piece of paperwork, the thing you were saying she should do legally.
Right.
What I want to say to everyone is, if listen.
We lost you, Kevin. We lost your sound. Hey, Anointed.
You hear me?
We lost your sound for a second.
Yeah, my bad. I got you. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was saying that if it felt cringy, which to me it really did. This is what happens when you submit your own authority to the government's authority, because you two can't work together.
Mm-hmm.
It would be wonderful if they could have just talked and she could have said, listen, I got this job that's over here. I'm going to transfer the children to this school. Is that okay? And they simply work through that.
Absolutely.
Now she's being told she's going to be in contempt. It's kind of like you start to realize you don't own your own children. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's a tough feeling to be in. And it's because they subjected themselves and their own authority to the governments because they simply couldn't get along.
Exactly. And then you find yourself under a court order. And then, but when you find yourself under the court order, you don't want to abide by it. But that's the place that you found yourself at, right? Just like you said, because you could not come to some type of middle ground and you couldn't have proper communication. When you have bad communication between two people, it completely just destroys the whole outline for the child. Completely. You losing your rights to live free with your kids. Exactly, Bridget.
Right. Like everyone, they're your children. You and the person you made them with, they're your children. They should be, you should be able to guide their life the way you see fit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether you have to move, take another job, and they switch schools. My children bounced around to different schools. I was always being promoted, and we moved a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we're together. We're making it work. But if we weren't, I didn't know anything about how these court systems go, how this stuff looks, because I've never been through it, right? So seeing this court case today, to me is just kind of like illuminating, because you're seeing how you can't even just switch your child's school because you want to. It has to be some type of request put in, and it's like they're your kids, and that's true. But because you could not simply get along with this other adult, you submitted your authority, and this is why they're telling you that you have to do what they say you have to do with your kid. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's wild. And it's like, why not just get along so you don't have to submit to a system that's going to have that much power over you. You see what I'm saying? That's
Exactly.
wild to me.
Exactly. And that's why I say is like when two people do have, I'll put it to you like this. If two people constantly having issues with communication, constantly having like issues, especially concerning the child. He won't show up at this time. She won't show up at this time. This is petty stuff to me. Oh, she won't show up at that time. Oh, the girlfriend is picking her up. I don't want the girlfriend picking her up. Oh, the boyfriend's picking her up. I don't want the boyfriend picking. See, when that goes in front of a judge, that's going to piss a judge off, and that's only going to make him put more stipulations on your life with your kids. It's just, you're just showing that you're incapable of being mature and you're incapable of raising children and co-parenting. So you have to have somebody else do it for you.
Absolutely. And in that situation, you notice that she couldn't even get a few seconds or minutes to even try and convince this judge otherwise. You know, she's trying to make him feel like he won't allow her a chance to speak. She's trying to say, with all due respect, but she's not being very respectful. You know,
right.
In your own home, you got your own autonomy. You can talk until you see fit. When you go into that courthouse, it's what they say. And you can tell that she was convinced this was going to be some type of conversation. Right. And you can understand it. It's her children. She's thinking that, hey, I should be able to put them in whatever. Nah, because y'all couldn't get along. You find yourself sitting here where it's up to me what you do with your kids. And
that's exactly right.
To me, it's like, you may be with someone who is a difficult person. But it would seem like neither one of you would want to go through this. So that alone should be a reason to work together and not put it in the court's hands. Because I'll be dang if I give up any authority to my children. They my children.
I know that's right. I know that's right. And you know what? The thing about it is, Kevin, they can't, let me tell you how they could control this. They could, just like you said, they could be like, you know what? Let's sit down. Let's get together and let's go in the court together and say, listen, you know, we've come up with something that we feel will work for the both of us. Let me tell you something. As crazy as that sounds, if a judge would see them two parents coming together like that, that would trump him putting him or her doing any order or continuing. They will pull that order back. But you know, the sad part about it is when you involve a GAL, that's when it gets to another level, because you're allowing a person to come into your home, you invade your kid's school, talk to your child. They have to answer these certain questions to this stranger, like, who is this person? They will go through, you know, family members who have contact with your children. GAL is, they are very invasive in your life. It's an attorney for the child, but they're very invasive. And 9 times out of 10, whatever recommendation that GAL gives, that's what the judge is going to go to. Because I don't know if you've seen the part where he was actually reading off the GAL's name is her name was Catherine, and he was reading off the fact that, well, she says that you've been very uncooperative and, you know, just not cooperating, not wanting to interview, not wanting to do this. So see, he had already had his mind made up before he even got in that court, before he even came up on that stand.
Yeah, I saw that, definitely.
So with that right there, it's telling him, well, this person has come into the home and done the interviews and stuff, and so they know. So we're just going to, you having all these people make all these determinations about how you should conduct your home and how you should conduct your children. That's what you don't want. But if listen, you go, I'm sorry, go ahead.
My bad. I was just going to say, under our own free will, none of us would do that. But this is happening because you can't agree with the other co-parent, and that's because of that you subject. I don't think you realize you're subjecting that much of your authority to these people. And you start to really, really understand you don't own them, not your kids anymore. They're telling you how to be around your children. And you can see in their situation, they still don't get it. Like you said, they're still arguing over petty stuff. You know, I can understand the husband's, or not the husband's, but the father's frustration. She done switched my baby's school without telling me. Like, I can understand he's upset, but you in court, man. You
Right.
still got to conduct yourself in a professional way.
Exactly. Did you see that? I don't know if it irritated. I said earlier, I don't know if it irritated anybody, but it irritated me. Because it's like, you know, to me, it was both of them. It's just like, dude, you know, and he kept talking about, well, if she doesn't want to see my girlfriend, obviously she doesn't want. I don't know if y'all caught that, but it was in between everybody interrupting each other. He was like, well, if she doesn't want to meet my girlfriend, obviously she don't want me a girlfriend. I guess I got to go pick the kids up. Come on, that's so petty.
Well, see, even with that, if they're saying you have to pick the child up yourself, and he very easily compromised. Okay, but can I pick her up earlier? You would
Right.
think they would be easy to compromise and say, sure. But it seems that they were being difficult regardless.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show this is why they don't get along. If the husband who's not in the wrong, but he has an attitude, if he's this way in court, you can bet that he's hard to deal with and tolerate outside of court. So you can tell these two go at it because she liked to talk too. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
This is why they found themselves in court, because they simply just got personality types that just seem like they just would collide. They both want to be heard, and neither one of them seem like they got no filter for each other, like they trying to be gentle with each other. They acted this way in court, you know.
Right.
So
Now,
yeah.
let me ask you a question. Now, I don't know if you heard, just to kind of step back, and I have to be honest with you, I really, Kevin, you don't understand how much I want to back away from this story. But I don't know if you kind of caught my recommendation or my advice, not recommendation, I would say your advice, because at the end of the day, you know, people grown, they're gonna do what they want to do, and they have every right to do what they want to do. Based on the court order, on your brother's court order, you know, about the social media part, you know, I don't know if you understand. I'm pretty sure you know that they agreed to this. That court order, that settlement agreement was something that they both agreed on. That was done in mediation, and they both agreed to those terms. That was not something that was forced upon them. They agreed to certain terms. I know probably one was, you know, more influential, more influenced than the other, but these are terms that they agreed on to where they feel that they could best co-parent and coexist for the betterment of the child. So my thing is, in a person in a position like me, I'm reading this court order. And if I see that there are things that are going to go against this court order, the first thing I'm going to say is, you probably shouldn't do that, because the first thing that's going to happen is contempt. Now, I know in your advice, you said, hey, listen, it's probably best, you know, that he doesn't, you know, post the little girl with Miss Season, and, you know, vice versa. Brianna with Janelle, probably both that they don't do that, so they don't antagonize the other or upset the other partner any type of way. Goes vice versa. Because I know what you meant when you posted that the other day in my comments. I know what you meant by that, you know, the jealousy thing. But, you know, I say it could go both ways. So
Absolutely.
my thing with that is, I feel like it would be okay if the posting of them is sincere and they're both showing, hey, we have truly moved on with our life, and we're just implementing our daughter in the way that we're moving forward with our life, and we want to show the world how we have moved forward and how happy we are, and we're just doing that as a collective together, versus, I know what you're saying, if you're doing it maliciously or with malicious intent to antagonize the other person, then don't do it. Is that kind of what you were saying, or the direction that you were going in?
Well, yeah, I feel like those type of things should be based on them coming together and agreeing. Hey, look, I know you got somebody else. I have someone else. We're going to post these different things. It's not personal. And if you both agree on that, it shouldn't be taken as malicious. I don't believe that it was malicious at all for him to post Miss Season swimming with the baby. But
Right.
I know that if it's not agreed upon, it could feel that way. And this was all speculation. You see,
Right, of course.
it was pending if that's an issue. And that's just what co-parenting is like. If that is an issue, then you got to talk about it. It would be
Right.
easy to say, well, you know, we're going to move on, so you should just be okay with it. It's easy to say that, but if the person don't have the temperament for that, to make a decision that's best for your child, you should, I would say you should temper that. You know, you're going to have someone, but you say, okay, I won't post that. That's not a necessity to post that. You know, and it's not even jealousy. It's more of a parental instinct.
Right.
To know your lady or your guy has someone else is one thing, but to feel that you're being somewhat replaced in intimate moments, things that moments you would share with your child, only you, and now this other person is doing this. Most of us as adults are not able to handle that instantly, so you would work with each other on that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And if couples truly was caring about their child, they would even want to meet up first and just, be able to get along, with these other people and things like that, because these are people who are going to be real close to your children. You know, obviously
Right.
it's not a perfect world, but everything requires working together, and that should always be the goal. But no, I think that you're right. As far as the legality side of it, you know, there was the thing you were saying on your live that day that I 100% agree with, that, and it was that he's not wrong at all for what he has to say, how he feels, what he's necessarily even posting. Even if it's direct, he's not wrong for saying how he feels. But based on the legal side of it, it would be illegal.
Right.
It's breaking their agreement. And so it's the wrong timing. And so while everyone says he should have a right to be able to speak out, they're absolutely correct. He should have a right, but he gave them up when they subjected their authority to the government. This is what happens.
That's a good way to put it. That's an excellent way to put it, Kevin. That's an excellent way of putting it. Yeah.
So it's like you could be a great fighter, but if you agree with someone that you're going to box them, then you got to box. I know you want to headbutt them right now or bite them or kick them in the nuts, but you can't do that. It's not a fight anymore. And if you do that, it's against the rules. You see what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
that's exactly what's happening here. It's like he is 100% right in everything that he feels. He's not doing a single thing wrong. Even posting the video with Miss Season, none of that is wrong. You're talking about the consequences of the action, though, and if that's going to lead to a negative impact, maybe don't do that. And this is something that they're both growing into, and it's not something that they actually look. You're probably not going to look at every move you make and look 5 years down the road, a year down the road, and see how that's going to affect in the beginning. Just like I was saying, how easily it is to isolate your child and not realize you're hurting your child. And at the moment, you might feel like you're protecting you, and you're going to see this, manifest down the road, not now. And as young parents, young co-parents, you're going to make those mistakes, and you just got to get better at it. Every decision that you make for you could be a detriment to your child. So you really got to just think about that child. Whatever you're mad about, you have to consider setting it to the side for your child. I always say, this is your future self. You get to choose who their mother and father is going to be. What type of mother and father are they gonna have? It's your choice, because you are their mother and father. You see what we didn't get to choose who our mother and father would be, how they reacted to things, but in this, in some way, shape, or form, we get to, and for our future selves. So, I just think you should put the child first and make every decision that's best for them.
Absolutely. And I completely, and you took the words right out of my mouth when I was getting to the legality part. That's where, that's the position I'm always going to come from. The emotional part, I'm not coming from that place, because if the emotional part, like I said, if I begin it, I say, hey, listen, you have every right to tell the world how angry and hurt and mad, but you gave up that right when you agreed to not do it. So, that's why I guess it's hard for people who are emotionally see this from an emotional standpoint and not a legal standpoint. They can't understand that, but that's the position that I come from. And I just wanted your take about that, because I know that you're coming from that side where, listen, let's just do what's more peaceful and what's not going to cause anybody to be upset or cause anybody to put the child in the middle or weaponize the child. You know what I'm saying? So I believe, I seen that's, where you were coming from. So.
Absolutely. And look, I know it's tough to be vulnerable in situations of co-parenting, breaking up. Sometimes you can miss the person dearly and won't say it.
Right.
But when you co-parenting, you really have to keep some level of vulnerability and be honest. If it's me, and I can't typically say if I'm with the same type of person or the same person that he's with, but I'm just saying if it's me and I'm going through a situation similar, and say I post a photo or video with me and my new woman, and my daughter's right there or son's right there.
Mm-hmm.
If she doesn't bring my daughter to meet me the next week, I'll just right flat out ask her, was that a problem? Did that bother you? Did that affect you? She may say no, and I'd say, listen, you can tell me because I would discontinue posting things like that if that bothers you. I do care. I
Well,
would
see,
make it
Kevin,
known.
you are different. Listen, you're a different type of breed. You're a different type of breed. You are a different type of breed. It shows through your content. You know what I'm saying? It shows through your content. It shows through, your content is of your daily life and your interaction with your family, your kids. And I know I told you this before. Samik is he's just the most adorable child.
Thank you.
Is so you can see their interaction. So that right there, your response is of no surprise. It really is.
I just think everybody around you, the people that you hold dear, they really are the people who answer your prayers, who can give you your greatest wishes. So you be kind to them. You make sure, and that's regardless if the relationship works out at all. As long as you guys are willing to work together, you'll always be able to have what you want for your children if you're really gonna put the child first. That's really what it kind of has to look like, where you have those conversations, you talk about what's good and what's right, and why be an enemy with the person that you're co-parenting with. That to me, that's a hell. You talking about waking up in a hell? That's a hell. That the person that you share a life with, the person that you created a person with, that's your enemy. That's wild.
Yes.
And you got to think
Yes.
it's the greatest enemy of all because it's through memories in the past. And if all that could be let go in those places, the only places they exist is in our mind. We have to find a way to put that away and focus on the future and look and turn our backs on it and move forward. Because if you're talking about if what's in our memories is gonna contaminate our child going forward, if we don't let it go, we both doing the child an injustice.
That's right. That's exactly right. Hey, D-Ham.
Hello. Hey,
Thank you for
Miss
joining. What's going
Sean.
on?
Hey, King, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing amazing. How you?
Salute to you. I'm well. I just wanted to chime in real quick. I don't know how good my reception is gonna be. But I want to say this, if y'all allow me, real quick. I do uh appreciate your stance and how you use your platform to voice your opinion for your brother. I think that was commendable, and I think that it's brave for you to even speak out, knowing his situation. And Miss Sean, you have done an awesome job covering uh, this family, and I just want to give you your flowers for that. But I want to say, King, I do disagree somewhat to your position.
All right.
I do agree with the fact that you are speaking the best you can as far as what's best for the child. But my take is a little different. It's not that I disagree with what you said because I think everything you said was on point. But the problem I have is with when LaTruth himself, when he was single and going and separate, he never once posted his daughter with another woman. Not that I've noticed. Um, Not that she was hands on or anything like that. Now, when men are going through separations and breakups, they're very careful with bringing their kids in the presence of another female based on the level of how they're actually, dealing with each other. So I didn't see LaTruth really moving in a way where it's like, dude, you with a different woman every other week. The brother literally waited until he was divorced, and then he chose to post his daughter with another woman. And I think that shows discipline. It shows that he was very mindful of the fact that he was still married at the time where he chose not to do that, and he waited until he was completely divorced. Now, saying that, Brianna herself cannot no longer have control or dictate to him what he's doing outside when he has possession of his daughter. He should not be victim or feel like he's enslaved to her emotions. Now, I will agree with Ms. Shawn when she says that if it's not done with the right intentions, if it's done to antagonize, then there's a problem. But simply posting your child with the woman that you've settled down with is not a problem. And this is the other reason why I look at it through the lens of him, by him being an influencer. So if he's a social media influencer, of course his life is pretty much on social media. So I would just preface my statements to say that no one should control, use their emotions, and whether they got over the fact that they're no longer there. They forfeited that right when you could not make it work with that man. You no longer have control over what that man does moving forward. But I will say anything that comes as far as the court order and it will put him in contempt, you do not post. You do not post your ex. You do not antagonize your ex. You do not do the things that may bring you back into contempt of that court order. But simply moving on means you moved on and you're moving on with your life. And I got a lot of slack when I said that weeks ago, to move on. And that's the formula of what I was speaking on.
Okay, so now I'll say.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm done.
Okay, so I'll say this right here. Even though you're disagreeing with me, I 100% agree with you. See, the thing about my advice, I don't agree with it. I think it's very unfair. That's why I said that before I even said it, my advice would be very unfair. Based on all the things that you just said, right? Which you're 100% right about. He shouldn't have to worry about that. He should be able to post what he wants in that regard. All that's 100% true. But when you're co-parenting with someone who may be bothered by that, this is not a fact. As a man, if you know it could cause a problem, telling him to go ahead and do that because he should be able to wouldn't be good advice.
Correct.
So my advice is to create harmony, so you're not having a hiccup with seeing your child, because like I said in my message on Sean's live that day, was either way, even if she's genuinely upset because of righteous reasons, it's her daughter. Seeing that could have hurt her. It would have hurt me.
Yeah.
So that's a fact. You see what I'm saying? I don't care what I've done in the past. I don't care if I put Jonell all up in his face, and I don't care if I did all that in the past. It would still hurt me. It's my baby. That's a whole different ballpark than the shit I was doing. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So if I know if seeing that could cause that type of reaction, if I would choose to say, okay, then let me not put that person in that position. I should be able to do what I want, but I'm co-parenting, and I can't. You can't. That's why you got to make. That's why it's better to make it work. And if you can't, know that there's going to be some element to working together. And probably why should you make all those sacrifices? You shouldn't have to. You absolutely right. But because people can be reactive, and these can be problems that even if you use the courts, it still can create hiccups in your child's life. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen situations where one person finally gets custody of the parent who was doing all the toxic things. And when that happened, the parent that was doing all the toxic things completely pulled away. The
Yeah.
child still lost. They still lost their parent. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you got your child because you did the right things, but the child still loses because now they lose their parent. You see what I'm saying? Because the parent don't want to come get them no more because they lost custody. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen this happen on all different sides. For whatever reason, somebody will quit trying, or it gets difficult, and the child is who loses, man. So
Well,
if there's a way to create harmony, to me, that advice is the best advice to give. Wow, you're absolutely right. No one should be able to control you. See, the thing about it, I'll say this real quick. Someone could be controlling you. They could be pretending that makes them upset in order to keep you from living your life. All this is true. But when
Yeah.
it comes to working together, you say, look, I'm going to give you some time. We're going to all meet up. We're going to get to know each other better, transition the children and getting to know them. That's very important. If I just keep telling her, I trust this woman, you don't even got to know her. That's kind of crazy because I definitely want to meet the guy she bringing in my damn child. So if you're going to do this the right way, where both people where it can just be completely fair, I'd be willing to go the extra mile and give it, say some time, say like a month or so, and then I'm going to post and live my life now. But I wouldn't let someone control me forever. But even if,
Yeah.
like you said something when you first started, that it was a long time before he ever even posted it. Now you just put yourself in anybody's shoes going through a separation, a divorce.
Right.
You've never seen your child that close with another person, another woman, another man, even for yourself. They finally posted. Man, it's still just as fresh as if they've done it, months or weeks or
Absolutely.
years ago.
Yes, sir.
And this is the feeling that everybody's welcome to have. It's Amora got mad and tried to say trying to say she's jealous. Man, you can call that feeling what you want to call it. We shouldn't shame people for what they feel. We all humans. You're gonna feel that shit. You're going through a divorce. Nobody can tell you that you're just gonna be over it. Nothing gonna matter no more. That's the biggest lie somebody gonna ever tell you. It's gonna hurt for a while.
No, you absolutely right.
This is gonna be one of the toughest things you ever go through, especially if you don't want to see your kids with nobody else. Come on, that's gonna be rough. It's a whole different type of thing. And then when emotions involved, it's like, hey, you're welcome to your emotions, but you can't act on them. So either way, she'd be wrong for not taking the child over there. So if I was advising her, I'd say you still got to take him as baby. I know you hated to see that. You still got to take him as baby, but I would advise my brother, don't even put her in that situation. Y'all can enjoy your time and just not post those intimate moments. And he has every right to say, I don't have to do that. He's right.
No, but see, the difference is your advice works either way. Your advice works based on just trying to have peace and knowing how toxic his marriage has been.
Hello?
And how bad it has hit the internet. I think that your advice is something that he should value and really think on and ponder on, because the fact of the matter is it's been so toxic on the internet within itself. So why continue to what I would say to that is create a space where there's a privacy. Your life is now you're trying to figure out a way to bring your life to some type of privacy, when it comes to your personal life.
Absolutely. We can't forget that the children that are involved, it's we as parents would like to think we should be able to introduce our child when we're ready, but the child got to be ready too. And I've seen situations where the child refused to connect with that new person because you ain't their daddy or you ain't their mama, and they're just not ready for that yet. And so a lot of times you're not just making a decision, or you're not just letting your co-parent kind of run your life. Your children are going to also, and they do have a say or should have some sort of say, because all those moves affect them. And that's why it's best to work it out. And if you can't, know that these are going to be obstacles that you.
Hello?
We lost him. We lost him for a second.
I'm back.
Okay.
I just said know that if it don't work out, that there's going to be those type of obstacles that you're going to have to move around.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me so Angela, welcome to the panel. Did you have something that you wanted to add to this?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I just have a question. Hi, everybody on the panel.
Peace.
I just have a question. How did this get turned into a custody battle?
No. If you was in here earlier, I showed a hearing for a custody situation.
Right, but y'all were talking about Brianna and Robert. So how did it get turned into a custody battle when this is not about custody of a child? It's about harassment charges.
We're not discussing custody. We're discussing my advice that I gave to my brother regarding things he should post or things that could cause issues and hiccups in his relationship, in his co-parent.
Man, everybody has turned this to a custody battle. It's not about a custody battle.
Again, it's not about a custody battle. You keep going back to that. I just said it was. I just told you.
It's not exactly.
No. You were talking about Brianna. You were talking about Brianna and Robert's situation.
I'm talking about my advice that I gave my brother.
Exactly.
Right. But I'm saying everyone has turned it into a custody battle when it is harassment charges. That's it. That's all.
Well, that's not what we're talking about. So I don't know. We can't talk about other people talking about a custody battle.
Well, Sean was discussing their case.
You're on the wrong page, ma'am.
Well, Sean was discussing their case.
Hold on, Kevin. No, I was taught when I was speaking about a custody issue. If you were in here before, I just showed a whole hearing about a custody issue.
Yes, I was. Yes, ma'am, I was.
Okay, so we weren't discussing that in reference to. We was talking about in reference to. With Brianna and Robert, we're referring to Kevin's advice for them to follow the court order, nothing about custody.
So that wasn't what you were referring to.
Well, tell me exactly tell me exactly what I'm not sure. You got to tell me exactly what you're talking about that made you allude to I was talking about custody.
Okay. Since y'all been talking about this, it seems like ever since the contempt charges or whatever, everybody's making lives about custody of a child, about Robert being able to see his child and Brianna keeping the child away. That's not even what she filed for.
So more recent than that file, there was a video of my brother trying to pick his daughter up, and he wasn't.
I can't hear you, Kevin.
I said more recent than her filing contempt or whatever, the harassment charge or whatever, more recent than that, my brother did a video where he was trying to pick his daughter up and couldn't. So that's the newest thing. So people are talking about, speculating around what could have been going on, what's the best moves to make around that. So with this it's kind of like the thing you're talking about. Well, I guess was probably last week. I'm sorry, they talk about what's.
You got me. I'm gonna have to say this. You got me lost here because what you're speaking about.
Kevin, you crazy?
You know I'm telling the truth.
Because it seemed like everybody is talking about the child and Brianna's keeping the child away from Robert and all this. And we've seen Robert getting his child. We've seen him co-parenting quite well. I mean, there hasn't been an issue until one weekend.
Well,
let me pause you right there. We're not even hold on to him. But we're not discussing specifics. We are strictly discussing what they can do better just going forward as parents as far as communication. We're not discussing specifics of what has happened, because if we did, we would be speculating and making theories because we don't know what happened, only what has been brought to the media. And we're not even discussing that and I don't discuss that because I made it very clear on my last live. I do not discuss that because it's speculation, it's theories, and we don't know exactly what was discussed, what happened. So I don't ever make any discuss anything outside of that. So that's why I'm not sure where you have. So because
it seemed like everybody done blew one weekend up because he missed one weekend and it turned into a whole big old thing.
That's not the case, ma'am. It's not about one weekend. It has been an ongoing thing. 1 week, it was 1 weekend he was supposed to get his child and she was in the hospital. So he missed that weekend. And then the next weekend, she's out of town with the child. So that's
the next weekend she wasn't out of town. Out of town. Next weekend he was supposed to get her.
Ma'am, his weekend. He was supposed
to get and then the next weekend you said she was out of town. She wasn't out of town till the 20th.
So we're talking about 2 weekends, right? Correct?
If they agreed he get her the next
Okay,
weekend, then what
okay,
would be the
so it's 2
problem?
weekends, ma'am. It's
If
two
he didn't
weekends.
show up,
It's 2 weekends, ma'am. You really came up here to try
first
to
of
No,
all,
no,
throw
don't
no.
us
We
tell
don't.
off
me
We
with
what
do
this
I
it different
came up here
ways.
conversation.
for. I came
Okay,
up here.
y'all.
I didn't even come
Pause.
up here to
Pause.
talk to you,
Pause.
sir. I don't even know who you are. I
Okay.
didn't come
So
up here to
Pause.
talk to you.
can I say
I
something
came
real
up here
quick?
to talk
Okay.
to
Yeah, yeah,
Sean
yeah.
and Kevin.
Okay.
Can I,
Hold on, Angela. Can you hold that thought? Just
Yes,
hold on.
ma'am.
Just thank you so much. Hold on, DM. Kevin, what did you want to say? Because I'm gonna say something real quick. Because I'm gonna pause that right there. So say
okay.
what you want to say.
So what I was gonna say is, I hear what she's saying, and it sounds like, and the way she sees it is, if Brianna was in the hospital one weekend, and okay, he says, okay, can I get her this weekend? If he doesn't do that, what's the problem? And the problem is that weekend would have been making up for the past weekend. So if Robert did miss that weekend, that's on him. His day though should still be his day. So this is a whole different day that's supposed to be his regardless. So even if he failed to miss that week, that's on him. He can't say that's her fault. Does that make any sense?
Correct. That's it. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it. And everybody making a big deal out of it.
Right, right. And
Okay.
again,
Well, I mean,
not to even make a big deal. It's just the thing. It's the next thing that came up. So, um, I just give my advice based on what I see. And so, again, I don't
Right.
even know that. I don't even know that him posting Miss Season would have even made it a problem. All I know is that he's saying he's not seeing. He didn't get to see her when he wanted to. Who knows what the problem is? You know.
Right. Because I don't
I
think
didn't
Miss
even.
Season
I
is
didn't
the
even.
problem.
I didn't even just name that. I said posting Brianna walking the baby over could have been a problem as well. So I named a couple of things that could have caused a negative response. And if I were Brianna myself, I might not want to take her over there, regardless. If I saw the video come up after I dropped her off, and I'm up here on they saying I ain't pregnant now, I'd be mad, and he's probably who I'd project that anger on. Even if I'd done bad things to him in the past, if I'm her, I probably would still be upset. She may not be, but I'm just
She's
saying.
not. She already stated she wasn't. She said she doesn't care about
Okay,
that.
okay. But again, all I was saying was, if you're not seeing your child because of something you're doing, do less of that, right? Because try to work with the person so you can see your baby. So that was my only advice. I can't say why it's happened or anything like that, but I don't even think it's being made such a big deal over. I hear what you're saying, but just
Yeah,
every little
because
detail
I'm
needs
just
to all
trying
be
to figure
addressed.
out how did all this get switched to from harassment. Apparently, he's harassing her on and off the internet, and she
okay.
obviously knows this, and obviously she had proof enough to get a contempt.
Okay. So let me say this. I'm gonna say this. Okay. So can you pause yourself a minute for Angela and
Yes,
let me say
yes,
this.
ma'am.
I'm gonna tell y'all this, and I know this is a big discussion for everybody, but here's the thing. A reason I do not discuss specifics of the contempt, and I'm gonna tell you why I don't discuss specifics of a contempt order, is a simple fact is we're only presented with certain evidence, and I'm pretty sure there's other evidence that follows with it. So it's hard to speculate what has happened, and I'll give you an example. There was messages where supposedly that he texted her on the parenting app and said, hey, can I make up this day? We don't see a response. So we don't know if she responded or how she responded, or if there was agreement, if there wasn't agreement. And I don't like to speculate, because I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was an agreement made. I don't know if it wasn't an agreement made. We don't know, because as of right now, it's just speculation, because it's just based on what it's been presented on social media. So just in my position, y'all, I don't like to speculate stuff like that. So all I'm going to say is he has his reasons for his contempt. He needs to take his evidence and whatever he feel, but he needs to keep it off social media. She has her evidence of what she feels. The only thing is, I would just advise her, just don't tell anybody connected to third party to bring it to social media. That's my advice to both of them as far as the contempt. That's
Right.
it. That's all. And when they go to court, they can resolve it.
Yes.
And
That's what I say.
I wanted I wanted to say this just really quickly about that word harassment. I get that, you know, it's a word that you guys are really believing is happening, but I'm close to this situation, believe me, than any of you. And what I've noticed is a pattern of calling someone trying to dialogue with you about their child harassment. Someone trying to tell you what's best for the child called harassment. I haven't seen any evidence of harassment at all. So I just know that people like to use these words and say, I'm being harassed, when really they're just trying to talk to you about your child or tell you what you're doing ain't right.
Just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it's not happening. That's just it. Apparently, Brianna knows.
I guess
She's
we
just
will
not gonna
see.
just file contempt on harassment if she's not being harassed. Make
Okay,
it make
Paul,
sense.
stop. Wait a minute. Stop.
Listen, she wouldn't just call the cops and say somebody had a gun unless they did, right?
Sean, I'm gonna
Oh my
drop
God.
down, Sean. I'm gonna let y'all have it.
Okay.
I'm
I
gonna let y'all
mean,
have it.
come on now. We got to think better than this.
No, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to
But
help you think. Would she call the cops and say someone had a gun and it not be true? If she would do that, then I think she would probably file a contempt
How do
case.
you know he didn't have a gun though? We
Huh?
never saw him.
no,
Now
no,
let's
Yeah,
get
yeah.
back. I don't even want to go back to that though,
that's
because we
Okay,
fine.
but
never seen him.
okay, but
We never seen him on
That
camera.
shows you have a lot of faith in the things that you're hearing. But
No, that just shows there's no proof.
no,
We
just go
don't
back and
know.
look. If you go back and look at the camera, you do see his other
If you go
hand.
back and look at the camera, he's not showing himself.
You can see the other hand. He's holding one hand has a phone, and the other
Okay,
hand would have
does
to
a gun
have
have to be in his
a
hand for
weapon.
him to have a gun?
Well, that's how she put it. I mean, what he has it.
That's how she put it because she said he got a gun.
Yeah,
So
he has a gun. It's like he has
he
a
has a
gun on him.
gun. So if it's down in his pants sticking out, he does have a gun, right?
hold on,
Okay, well,
Angela.
Is that correct? Is that
Angela,
safe
wait
to
a minute.
say?
Let me mute you.
Is that safe to say though?
Angela, let me hold on. Just hold on for a second. I'm gonna mute you just for a
he
second.
But
has
I
a
don't even
gun.
want to talk
I'll say
about
that.
past. That's over and done.
Yeah, let me just mute you. Let me just mute you for a second. One thing I'm gonna ask y'all to do: don't say the word. Don't say GUN up here, okay?
All right.
Please
Yeah.
don't do that.
I
Please.
didn't mention it. Kevin did.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
but do not say the word GUN up here. And secondly, you guys, once again, let's not bring up what has happened and gone and already in the past.
Yeah, it's already in the
It's funny.
past.
That was prior to the divorce. At this point, it's not even debatable.
Yeah,
It's
it's not
not
even
even
relevant.
debatable at this point because honestly, they're divorced. They've moved on. What we're focused on now is what they could do better as far as communication and communication only. As far as the contempt, I just said what the contempt is. Right
Right.
now, it's all speculation and theories because we don't know. I read the contempt for Robert. I read the contempt for Brianna. I read both of their evidence, and whatever they feel that has happened and that they want to bring it to the judge, at the end of the day, we are not their judge and juror. They're going to go up to the court and the judge is going to decide who is in contempt and who is not.
Correct.
That's the best way to look at it, no matter how we feel. And Kevin, I know one thing about and that's exactly Josie said it right. Filing for contempt is not being found in contempt. So nobody has been found in contempt. Nobody has been found in contempt, y'all. Nobody has been found in contempt. They are both asking the other party to be found in contempt because of certain actions that they feel they broke in the order. So the best thing for us to do, and like I said, Kevin, I do respect and I have so much respect. I know your personal take in this, so I do take your feelings in consideration. Okay, so I don't want you to think I'm not, but I just
No, you're
want
right.
us
Yeah,
just to let this play out in court because we could battle this all day. This has been a battle for 2 years. Everybody got their side. Everybody feel how they want to feel. The best way to do it is let them battle out in court. Just let them battle out in court. We don't need to
Really,
know.
truly,
Mm-hmm.
what all this should show is when you bring this stuff online, it just can create so much division because people will have totally different perspectives, and
Yeah.
they will likely disagree forever, emotionally disagree. So it just shows how powerful one person's perspective can be. Because I see a situation as no way he had a weapon, but I think she's wholehearted believes that there is a possibility. And it just shows how, right or wrong, it creates division. It's crazy.
It does.
If you can handle things in between you and your own partner, do that, because online is a dangerous place.
It's better at the end of the day. It's better. That's why I say keep it off social media, because when you get emotionally involved, when people get emotionally involved, then they're not going to see it from another side at all, right or wrong or indifferent. They're not going to see it from another side. That's from both sides. And we have both learned that in this saga.
I always say that we're peepholes, like people, but I take the word and say peepholes, meaning we all have our own view of life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're all looking through a door and we can only see but so much. And what we see with our eyes, that's what we see. And what we see is what's there. And we gotta trust that other people see what they say and they see, and don't become emotional about it. Because it'll make you upset when someone doesn't see your perspective. But if they're being honest and true to their perspective, you just gotta say, you know what? That's the beauty of life.
Exactly. That's why there's no need, and especially when you're on the internet, there's no need to argue your perspective. That is already, as far as everybody is concerned, right now it's in a whole different spectrum right now. Right now it's on the contempt level. You know what I'm saying? This is an after divorce situation. So before the divorce, everybody's still gonna be battling about the specifics of it. There is no need to go into this, but now we're talking about, this. And the only thing we can do is, no matter what proves, what we think on this internet is not what a judge is going to think. We can think it all day. But what a judge, at the end of the day, is what matters to the judge, because they, just like what you said, they have brought it to a government, under a government restriction. They have done that. So as of right now, that's who matters. Not really us, be honest with you, none of us. So
that's true.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, in the future, you're going to see it at every company. They're going to tell you the things you can't discuss at work is going to be religion, politics, and the LaTrue saga.
You know what? You very well might be true about that. They're going to include that in there because it's been discussed so much. It's like, no matter what side, I'm gonna say this, no matter what side that you on or how you feel, this has got to be the most exhausting saga I have seen, because it's back and forth, and it has so many layers to it. And layers get added onto it every single time. So it can be very exhausting. So I do believe, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody say, I come into a place or whatever. We can talk about everything, but true saga is off limits. Like, what?
Imagine you on the LaTrue side or the Brianna side, right? And you've been friends with somebody for years, and then you find out they on the other side. Something come up, you like, hell no, so you thought he did it? Hell no, I ain't arguing now, don't get along no more.
And then it's a whole debate. It's the same thing if you find out somebody supports Trump over, or what's her name? Kamala, right?
Right.
Kamala. Yeah. Or you find out, you vote for her. Or when it was the Obama era, you'd be like, or you voted for him. You start going back and forth, and all of a sudden it's just y'all at each other necks just because of sides. You know what I'm saying?
Men everywhere, they're gonna sit down on the first date and be like, you ever heard of the LaTrue saga? Like, yeah. Who'd you agree with? They say Brianna, they gonna be out of there.
Nope. Royal D. I am going to show it, but I'm going to actually show it another time because it's a little lengthy. So I am going to show it, since we did get into this discussion. I'm going to show it, but it's going to be in another live. So, and y'all, let me tell you something. My I have people who are both or on LaTrue and both Bree, and everybody can sit in the same room and just talk about it. I mean, we're gonna have debates and stuff about it, but it's never to the point where we're just really just get out of my face. I don't want to talk to you no more. It's never nothing like that. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think we done had enough debates on this internet. I
Huh?
don't think nobody can debate no more.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I
I'm
think all
tired.
it's just, and like I said,
You can't
like
debate
I
when
said,
it's not
I
about
don't have a
truth
dog
anymore.
in this fight. My thing was just to kind of look at the facts and just see what the evidence support. But that part of it is gone. It's over. It's no need to debate those facts any longer. No matter what you feel, people are still going to feel how they feel, and they have a right to walk away with however they feel. However they see it. And people are saying, and we're kind of back at it again, square one again, but we're back at square one again with the contempt. Everybody's giving their scenario on what should happen, what should be done, who should do what, when, how they feel. I say, let it play out in court, and then we'll all find out. Just let it play out.
I could say one thing though. In this sector over here that I've seen, and I don't even really come, it's brought out a lot of mental illness. I'm sorry, but I gotta say that.
That's why
It's brought a lot of mental illness out.
Oh yeah, I think that's why it's so addicting, or that's the thing about it that everybody's trying to explain. What is it that has these people so captivated, and we're hearing the same stories over and over, or seeing this play out? Because, like Miss Young was saying, and she meant no disrespect by it, but these are normal human beings.
Right.
Normal human being, and it's not even what they're going through. Is that is any thing that's set apart. You can see these exact same scenarios go on in so many different people's lives. We've seen them.
Exactly.
Seem like people copying them. Honestly, it just seems like it's so close to what they went through. So it's not even uncommon what they went through.
Right.
Very, very common. So it's nothing really special about this. But for some reason, it has a lot of people's attention. And maybe it's for some righteous reason overall, and some greater thing we're gonna all learn from it. But I think we get to see this from the child's perspective. That everything is gonna be confusing as hell, and what you lose is your parents and the life you thought you had.
Right.
Ain't nothing nobody can do about it. People gonna always have their perspective. It tear families apart because everybody see it a different way. That's what a marriage breaking up looks like, and it don't just affect the home; it affects everybody around it. And that's what's happening literally to all of us. We ain't even. I mean, I'm actually connected to them, but for a lot of people, they feel that way because I think maybe they grew up seeing it happen around them where they didn't understand it, and now they're seeing it. But it definitely has taken hold to a lot of people.
Yeah,
it is something I've never
like
seen.
You said,
get online and do what this has done.
These two regular individuals going through life. That's it, like everybody else. These people out here going through worse than what they going through.
Shout out to them for going through one of the worst traumatic things you can go through in life, a divorce, and it be public like this. Because most people couldn't take even the divorce.
You're right about that, Kevin, because they always say divorce is almost like death. And I can't imagine trying to play your divorce out on social media and having to deal with your feelings in front of an audience. And you can't even really deal with it. You're probably still dealing with it off camera, but the fact is, because your life is on social media and this is how you make your money, imagine having to function, to continue, what I'm saying, on camera and deal with a divorce like that. I mean, that's got to be traumatic for anybody.
Yeah, they can't deal with it properly. Neither one of them.
It's a fact. When you under so much emotional distress, you're gonna do things and say things that people say are wrong, right? Imagine the whole world seeing that and they're just criticizing you instead of caring about how you feel. You know what I mean? So, and you always be remembered for your actions and the way you feel. Will kind of be pushed to the side, and you'll be seen as a tyrant, all because of the things you did in your emotional. And that's just why it's not good to put that out online, because you're gonna kick and scream sometimes when you go through some painful stuff. And if you got people just telling you kicking and screaming is wrong, it's like you ain't really getting no help.
Yeah,
and that's what online offers you, a bunch of reasons to feel worse about yourself.
Well, I can't say I've had my experience and I felt some type of way, but you gotta all day long, remember this is social media. It's a whole nother world different from your real life. And people gotta learn to separate that.
Yeah, as
Because
much
it
as we want
can,
to talk about how messed up it is, we're the one hitting upload. We're the
huh?
one putting it up there and having to deal with it.
Right,
It's the
exactly.
perfect like analogy to you made your bed, now you got to sleep in it. They should change it. You uploaded it, now you got to live in it. They should, because now we don't make beds up no more. We live in the techie age. I'm just playing. I make my bed up.
Exactly.
But we need to change that though. You uploaded it. You got to live.
That's right. I think he got dropped again. I think she got. But anyway, Miss
Okay.
Angela, I thank you so
Yes.
much for coming up.
Thank you.
I know it didn't start off, just so
That's
we can
okay.
get some understanding of what was going on. But I'm glad that you was able to get some clarification.
Yeah, that's okay.
What
It
we were
worked
talking
out. It
about.
worked out.
So,
It's
but
one.
thank
It's
you.
one thing about. It's one thing about y'all. Y'all come in the first round swinging. Every time y'all hop up here, it's always a lot of
I
hostility.
wasn't even swinging though. I just had a question. That was that
Maybe it's a
guy who
little.
was up
Maybe
here. I
it's
don't know who that
maybe it's
was.
nervousness. It could be a little nervousness too. But I be hearing a little extra breathing in the background. Like I thought Jason Voorhees was standing over your shoulder.
It was that guy. I'm like, who is he? I wasn't even talking to him.
No,
Blame it on D.
But it's okay.
yeah.
It's okay.
That was D Ham.
I'm not up here to argue with no one.
D. Ham, it's your fault. You shouldn't have been up and messed with her, man.
I know. Tell him again.
Your fault, D. Ham.
No, we.
All right.
That's
I'm
why.
gonna
That's
drop
why
down.
D. Ham
Y'all have
got
a
down
blessed
real
Okay,
and
quick.
Angela.
beautiful day, okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
That's why D. Ham got down real quick. He knew it'd only be a matter of seconds before you spot him.
Oh God, I had to get control of that so fast because it was like, wait, whoa, this was going in a whole nother direction. Like,
No, I'm glad you did. That you were absolutely right.
He's Jay said, I have patience of Job. Lord, listen, I done seen that story so many times and read the story, that part of the Bible enough to know that you just gotta have it. You really gotta. Yeah, Jay, it's actually Amber's fault. The saying, Kevin, right now, everything that happens bad is Amber's fault. So really it's Amber's fault.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
But yeah, Kevin, I really wanted to, I'm glad you did come up here. I'm glad you did, because I did want of us to kind of combine, exactly what our perspective was. I think we have the same goal. And I'm so glad that you were able to, without even me really even saying anything, was able to understand the legality part of it, of where I'm coming from. And I can understand the emotional side of what you're going from. But in the end, the goal is just to do what is in the best interest of the child, and that neither parties are putting themselves in a position or jeopardizing their position, with their child. So
Absolutely. And the moral of it all is this is a very, very complex and emotional thing. And it's not going to be easy at first. So it takes practice to get good at co-parenting. You don't just fall into it. I don't think really nobody does, especially when it's coming from a marriage. So they're just going to have to figure out their best ways to navigate this thing. But remember, the tough questions to ask when you're trying to get to know somebody is, on the religious side, was Jesus a prophet or was he the son of God?
mm-hmm.
Okay, then you want to make sure politically, you for Trump or Kamala. And then you got to get to those final two questions. Is it Brianna or LaTruth? Which one?
Listen, let me tell you, the only question I can't even listen. The crazy part about it is all three of those questions, my answer would be the same. It would be the same for all three of them.
What would be the answer?
Well, for the first one, I guess, you said, is he a prophet or is he a son of God? I've never really put thought into that question. So I would probably have to stand fast to the side on that one. But I've always believed that, he is the son of God. But no need to get into the religious thing. No,
I'm just hearing your answers.
Oh, okay. As far as oh Lord, Kamala and Trump, I'm not for either one. I'm not for
Okay.
either one. And for Bree and Latrue, neither one. I want neither one.
And the final one is the earth round or flat?
Listen, actually, is it flat? Isn't it flat?
Hey, from what it look like to us, it is, but from what they tell us, it's round, right?
I don't know. Don't ask me. Listen, that's a science question. Don't ask me.
Science.
That's a science question.
So
Shoot, does
you
anybody
prefer,
in the chat know?
would you prefer to look at your own surroundings and say, well, it looks flat, or would you look at the sky and say, well, everything else appears round, so therefore I must be standing on something round? Which type of person would you say you are?
Okay, well, say that one more time. Say that one more time. I'm sorry. Say that one more time. Let me put some thought into this. Say that one more time.
Okay, are you just have a person that's accept what you see, that the earth appears flat, therefore it is, or look in the sky, you see all the stars around, the moon is round, the sun is round, therefore say, I can assume the earth must be round. Which one would you say you are?
The second one.
So you
The
probably would
second
think
one.
the earth is round.
The second one, yes, I would have to say that. Yep.
Makes sense.
Yes. Yep. Because you want one big lesson I've learned in life, Kevin, is sometimes everything you see ain't what you see. You know what I'm saying? Even though something is definitely in your face, that doesn't mean that's what it is. I've learned that the hard way. Just
That's a
because
fact.
it looks like that's what it is, that doesn't mean that's what it is.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, but things in life and pictures, situations can be very deceptive, especially to the eye. Be very deceptive.
Right. I thought it was amazing that animals see totally differently than us. And, all this helps them to be able to analyze the world through their scope. And we see the world a certain way, but they say we only see about 3% of what there is to see. So that means that we're honestly blind to 97% of what's actually in front of our own eyes.
Wow, that's a good scenario. That's why deers are blind, right? Is that right, y'all? Deers are blind. Are they blind? Are they blind? Like the light blinds them.
Yeah,
How do we get on
light.
animals?
Well, because I was just saying some animals see totally different. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
yeah. That's like how you see tigers, how they blend into grass, right? And to us, it's obviously an orange cat hiding that blade of grass, right?
Right.
But to gazelles, they don't see color. They see everything as black and white or green and white. So the orange to them appears green, just like the grass. So they can't see that tiger when he's crouched down in that grass. He might as well have on perfect camouflage.
Oh, now you're going to make me go to bed dreaming about that and jump up off my sleep.
But it just goes to show what you see isn't actually there. That's how you see it. It's light reflecting off of it. Your eyes pick it up a certain way. So yeah, it'd be easy to say, well, the earth is flat from how I see it. But then if you look up, could you honestly say that? And so that's why I asked you that question. But I mean, and all jokes aside, it's just always been these type of questions. They say, if you ask them, it can be a real thick debate. And I just think that soon the true saga will have to be, canonized as one of those questions.
Right. I definitely, love the way that you be putting things that sometimes it be making you think like, what the world? Do you read a lot?
I do.
Okay. I can tell. I can definitely tell. I may not read the same things you do. I read a lot of statues and research stuff, but I don't read a lot. Like, as far as I know, my oldest son has got into reading, and he comes over here be trying to preach to me all the time, and I don't know what he be talking about. But he sounds a lot like, he's trying to teach me about our ancestors, where we came from and stuff like that. So he's on that tip right now. So I have to hear that when he comes over. Huh?
I said, that's amazing.
Yes. So that's what he's doing now. He's all of a sudden become so. I said, what happened to this same interest when you was in school? He didn't have no interest in school, but now he's very interested in our ancestors and where we came from and why we are the way we are, our skin color. He's interested in all of that now.
Yeah, it sounds like he's recently became what they call woke, but it's like becoming more self-aware of your surroundings and knowing that you have the ability to change your own life and waking up from the matrix, so to speak. And when you do that, you are a totally different person than you were in school. Your thirst for knowledge is greater than it ever was. Because you got to think, when you're being put through school, they're teaching what they want to know. You're not exploring what makes your brain curious. So when people wake up, whatever it is that wakes them up, whether it be hearing about our past, hearing about certain different things or whatever the case may be, there's a curiosity that's there that it's like hunger. They have to quench it. And so, yeah, your brain finally wakes up and you find yourself, wanting to go read and things that I became a totally different person when I woke up, when I, came into the knowledge of certain things. So it'll make you want to forever learn because you'll realize that your world is limited, really, honestly, to the things that you know. And so once you say, I want to be a person who still continues to learn and grow so I can know more, my brain can do more, you can take it into your own hands. I read whatever makes me curious. I study whatever makes me curious. And it's made me, given me a wealth of knowledge and perspective and all of that. And I enjoy it. Nothing makes me happier than learning. I don't know. That's just kind of how I
It
am. And
makes
I'm
you
sure,
grow. It makes you
right.
grow.
I'm sure
It
in
makes
your
you grow.
field, time flies whenever you're reading and learning more of what you enjoy learning on. But everybody don't have that. Most people in school, they're just being taught, being tested and everything on what you want them to know. They're not really curious about it. They kind of have to answer those questions, and that's really boring.
It sure is. You got that right. I see why, kids these days, they have little to no interest, but hey, that's what you have to go through to get through to school. So
What he's studying right now about his ancestry probably gives him purpose and
oh, he's so
foundation and
passionate.
courage and confidence and everything right now. And ain't the lesson in school that's gonna give you that.
Oh my God, he's so passionate. I mean, he be wanting to beat it in my youngest son's head, and he be wanting to beat it in my head. But see, here's my thing. This is me now. This is me. I said, listen, when you come over here and you want to teach me about something, what I need you to do when you come, bring me where your sources are from. Bring me your sources. Bring me where you see, because I like to see things from my own eyes. You know what I'm saying? I always say when somebody tell you something, go research it for yourself because you may see it through a different type of lens. Your perspective on it may be a little bit different, but just go look at it for yourself. And, that's why I always say you can look at one thing, but it might be 10 perspectives toward it. That's how you all sit together and discuss. That makes for good discussion. So that's why I tell him, whenever you come over here and you want to show me something, you want to tell me something, please just bring me your sources, bring me your receipts, tell me where you got it from. I'm just a receipt type of person. I've always
That's
been
actually
like
good
that.
for them. That's good for them in their development because it's so easy to take on information and regurgitate it, which makes it pseudo knowledge, regardless of how sound the information is coming off. If you don't have a source and some place you can say you got this from to show you clearly understand what's being presented, it's not easy to you're not gonna be able to go to actually teach that. And to a lot of people it'll sound good, but you requiring that from him will definitely make him way sharper.
Right. Hold on, Kevin. Let me see. I see a comment from Miss Diamond. I just happened to see it says, I see only Robert supporters are welcome to speak. I wasn't disrespectful at all, but I'm gonna leave on this note. If it was for his safety, well, okay. So if you don't know, if this is your first time in here, if you've never been in here, everybody is welcome in here. There's no side. There's no side. Everybody is welcome to give their perspective. Everybody is welcome to come in the comments. The only thing I ask is that you're just not disrespectful. That's it. Don't be disrespectful. Anybody is welcome over here. Anybody. So anyway, sorry about that, Kevin.
No, you're fine.
That just happened to have caught my eye.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, but I am going to get up out of here. I so enjoyed this. I'm glad. I'm very glad that you came because it does bring a lot of clarity and I don't have to kind of guess what you meant or kind of, so it did bring a lot of perspective on both sides as to what we feel is what's in the best interest of the parties going forward. And I guess what we'll do is we'll just sit back in the bushes like the supporters and see how it plays out.
Yes, ma'am. And I always be. I can't think of a time I've actually disagreed with you, even on the panel that day, listening to you. The things you were saying were right and exact. I definitely always respect your opinion.
Oh, well, thank
I don't know
you.
if you guys remember. Miss Sean made a video. I mean, she was checking me. She was telling me, man, she expect more from me. And honestly, because I respect her and the things that she was saying was a fact, I immediately humbled myself and said, you know what, she's right. She helped bring me back, snap me back to reality one time. So,
And
you know, I'll
I
always
was like,
appreciate that.
oh my God, he gonna chew me out. I don't know if y'all ever, if anybody's ever, I made a video of Kevin when I first came, and that was like one of my first videos, y'all. But it wasn't really derogatory toward him. It's just what I felt like when you see something in somebody and you kind of see them wasting it on something that really has no integrity or nothing that doesn't define them. So yeah, I thought he was gonna chew me out, but I'm a person that I like to tell the truth. So, but I'm so glad that you took that with a grain of sugar and not salt. So I appreciate that.
As soon as I heard the video, they listened. I said, she's right. And I commented on it and said, you're absolutely right, So definitely. And you took time out of your day to do that. And that was beautiful. So I'll always be grateful for that. And again, thank you for allowing me to grace your platform. I'll be in the background listening again. And peace to all of you guys.
All right. Thank you again, Kevin.
Yes, ma'am. My pleasure.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So y'all, I'm gonna read a few of these comments and then I'm gonna get off. Bianca Hampton, Sean sprinkling sugar on shit. What does that mean? DM said Miss Sean shut me down. Definitely don't feel. You know what? I'm gonna ignore that. DM, I'm gonna ignore that. No. Not. You are welcome on. Everybody's welcome on my panel. Let me not speak too soon. Hey, Miss Floria. So let me see. I'm gonna kind of go back up a little bit, and then I don't know where. You must be better than that. Stay calm. Let me see. I think I seen that when Dham said that women almost got Dham back in the saga. Boy, oh my God. Jay said, me and my girlfriend in Texas on that level now. We no longer discuss it when we get together. Y'all don't even talk about it, Jay. So y'all don't even talk about it. That's funny. I got a few friends, Heartbreed supporters. Okay. Lala said, I don't support neither for this election. Please don't block me though. No, because I don't support either, to be honest. I don't support either. Hey Beverly. Well, Angela is rude. I can't stay here and listen to this Duluth from the other side. This must be when it first started. Oh yeah, y'all was going at it in the comments. I didn't see any of it. I'm kind of glad I don't see the comments when y'all going at it. Anyone in Florida, my papers are with you. My prayers are with you. Oh yes. Yes, absolutely, Jay. Anyone in Florida, Georgia, I think it's Georgia too, if I'm not mistaken, Jay. And y'all, it's hitting the Carolinas. So definitely prayers for everybody. We came in to support a Black man on DV. So let me go to the bottom. Just skip the chats. They aren't about the time. Okay, you're right, because I see it went a whole nother level. But anyway, I thank you guys so much for coming in. I am going to do a part 2 on that live so people can see exactly what happened to Miss Lady. I did give you something, but like I told you, I didn't tell you everything. But yeah, but I will do part 2 probably this weekend. I'm sure I will do part 2 this weekend, so stay tuned for it. So thank you everybody, and thank you my mods always. Bridget, Miss Judy. Bridget, I seen where you said sometimes you forget you are mod. I did see that part. Yes, Miss Floria, please be careful out there. Latte, I'm feeling a little better, Latte. I'm feeling a little better. My energy's still not, there. Hey, Doris, you always late. But thank you. You got to go back and rewind it. But thank you so much for my mods, Latte, Judy, Bridget. I think JB usually, she's usually sometimes in here, grown woman status. But I think to all my supporters, you guys, I don't even have the breath to even call out everybody's names. But thank you so much for everybody for stopping in. For all my guests on the panel, Kevin, D Ham, and Miss Angela. It was a little rough at first, but we got it together. Thank you, Kia. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining the live. And I'm trying to make Bridget time me out. Dang it. But anyway, like I said, everybody is welcome. So, but anyway, thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in, and stay tuned this weekend. Y'all, if I feel better, I promise I will do the second part of that. And but y'all be safe out there, and I will see you guys on the next live. Thank you again.